Hi, third grade. Let's get started on math. Today we are on lesson 4.2, and that is multiply with 5 and 10. How can you multiply with 5 and 10? Okay, let's start by unlocking the problem. Marcel is making 6 toy banjos. He needs 5 strings for each banjo. How many strings does he need in all? Okay, let's circle what we need to know. Marcel is making 6 toy banjos. So how many banjos is Marcel making? 6. He needs 5 strings for each banjo. 5 strings for each banjo. How many strings does each banjo have? 5. So that's 6 groups of 5. So if we were to write that as a multiplication sentence, it would be 6 times 5. Okay, we can use skip counting. Skip count by 5s until you say 6 numbers. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we know that 6 times 5 equals 30. So Marcel needs 30 strings in all. Another way to do this, we could do a similar one on a number line. So a similar problem. Each string is 10 inches long. How many inches of string will Marcel use for each banjo? So he still is making 6 banjos. Oh, sorry, hold on. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so now each string is 10 inches long. How many inches of string will Marcel use for each banjo? So remember that how many strings does each banjo have? 5. So he needs 5 strings, and each string is 10 inches long. So draw 5 jumps for the 5 strings. Draw 10 spaces at a time for the length. So from here, from 0 to 10 is 1 banjo, right? And he needs 5 banjos. So that's 1. 10 more would be 20. 10 more would be 30. 10 more would be 40, and then 10 more would be 50. Draw 5 jumps for the 5 strings, and that's what we did. And so we landed on 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So we know that 5 times 10 equals 50. So Marcel will use 50 inches of string for each banjo. A multiple of 10 is any product that has 10 as one of its factors. So like any number, so like that's just like saying any number times 10, this would be a multiple. Okay. Okay, on the next page. Use a bar model. Marcel bought 3 packages of strings. Each package cost 10 cents. How much did the packages cost in all? So let's circle what we need. Marcel bought 3 packages of strings, and each package cost 10 cents. How much did the packages cost in all? So here we have a group of 10, a group of 10, a group of 10. That's for the 3 packages. 1, 2, 3. Each one is 10 cents. 10 cents, 10 cents, 10 cents. Let's count by tens. 10, 20, 30. That's also just like saying 3 times 10. And 3 times 10 equals 30. So the strings would cost 30 cents in all. Okay, how can you use this number line to find 8 times 5? So if we're doing 8 times 5, that's 8 groups of 5. So every jump is going to have 5 in it. So the first one would go to 5. And we want to do 8 of those. 5 more would be 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Let's count. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we would know that 8 times 5 equals 40. Okay, good job. Let's keep going. Okay. So now we're on to find the product. 2 times 5. So we could count by 5. Let's just do 5 plus 5 because we know that timesing by 2 is like a doubles fact. Well, 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay, 6 times 10. Let's count by 10 6 times. So I'm counting on my fingers. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 5 times 5. Let's count by 5 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 10 times 7, we're going to count by 10 7 times on your fingers. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 10 times 4, count by 10s 4 times on your fingers. 10, 20, 30, 40. 5 times 6, count by 5 6 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 10 times 0, any number times 0 equals 0. 5 times 3, count by 5 3 times. 5, 10, 15. 7 times 5, count by 5s 7 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 5 times 10, 50. 4 times 5, count by 5s 4 times. 5, 10, 15, 20. And then 9 times 10 would be 90. Okay, turn the page. Okay, what I want you to do is on your own. So I want you to do number 14 all the way to number 27. So what I want you to do now is press pause on your video and do numbers 14 all the way to 27. And when you're ready, press play and then see how you did. Take as much time as you need. Okay, so you should be finished through 27. Now correct your work. If you made a mistake, that's fine. You just fix your answer. Okay, 5 times 1 is 5. 10 times 2 is 20. 4 times 5 is 20. 10 times 10, 100. So that's counting by tens all 10 times. You'd get 100. 10 times 0, 0. 10 times 5, 50. 1 times 5, 5. 5 times 9, 45. 3 times 4, 12. 5 times 0, 0. 4 times 8, 32. 10 times 5, 50. Okay, 26, 27. Use the pictures to find the unknown numbers. So we have 3 groups of 4, that's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 groups of 3, that's 30. Okay, let's move on together for 28 and 29. Marcel played 5 songs on the banjo. If each song lasted 8 minutes, how long did he play? So we're going to use the bar model. He has 5 songs and each song was 8 minutes. So we have 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inside we're gonna put 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. So that would be 5 times 8 equals. So we could count by 5s 8 times, or we could count by 8 5 times. Counting by 5s is easier, so we're going to count by 5s 8 times to get our answer. On 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So he played for 40 minutes. Number 29. There are 6 banjo players. If each player needs 10 sheets of music, how many sheets of music are needed? So we have 6 equal groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each player needs 10 sheets of music. So that's 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. 6 groups times 10. Let's count by 10s. Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, let's do number 31. Mark is making 10 kites. He uses 5 yards of ribbon for each kite. He already has made 2 of the kites. How many yards of ribbon will Mark need to make the rest of the kites? Okay, so Mark is making 10 kites. He uses 5 yards of ribbon for each kite. He's already made 2 of the kites. He's already made 2. How many yards of ribbon will Mark need to make the rest? Okay. Okay. So what do we know? We know that Mark is making 10 kites, okay? And he needs 5 yards of ribbon for each. He already has made 2 of the kites. So let's start there. If he's made 2 kites, we know that he's made 2 times 5 yards of ribbon. So 2 times 5 equals 10. So he's already used 10 yards. How much will he need for the rest of the kites? So if he's already done 10, I guess we can erase this and just subtract 2. So 10 minus 2 is 8. So he needs to make 8 more kites times the 5 yards each. Well, 8 times 5, let's count by 5s 8 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So he'll need 40 more yards to make the rest of the kites. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. Okay, and let's look at our graph here, or not our graph, sorry, our data. Stringed instruments. We have instrument and then strings. The guitar has 6 strings. The banjo has 5. The mandolin has 8. The violin has 4. Now we can read the problem. John and his dad own 7 banjos. They want to replace the strings on all of them. How many strings should they buy? Write a multiplication sentence to solve. So dad and his John, they own 7 banjos and they want to replace the strings on all of them. How many strings should they buy? Well, we know that they have 7 banjos times how many strings does one banjo have? Well, one banjo has 5, so 7 banjos would have, solve 7 times 5, so count by 5 7 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So 35 strings. Okay. Here we go. Moving on. Mr. Lemke has 5 guitars, 4 banjos, and 2 mandolins. What is the total number of strings on Mr. Lemke's instruments? Okay, so we know he has 5 guitars, 4 banjos, and 2 mandolins. What is the total number of strings? So let's start with guitars. Guitars. He has 5 guitars. How many strings is that on each? Guitar, guitar. There it is. 6. So our first one is 5 times 6. So let's count by 5s 6 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's guitars. Check. Let's do banjos. 4 times. How many strings are on a banjo? 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Check. Banjo. And then mandolins. 2 times a mandolin has 8. And we know that any number times 2, you just double that number. So 8 plus 8 is 16. So that's how many strings he has on the guitar, the banjo, and the mandolin. But we want to know the total number of strings on all the instruments. So now we need to take these 3 numbers, 30, 20, and 16, and add them. 30, 20, and 16. 0 plus 0 plus 6 is 6, right? Because we don't add the zeros. And now we add the tens place. 3 plus 2 plus 1. Well, 3 plus 2 is 5, and 5 plus 1 more is 6. So he has 66 strings. All right. Let's do 2 more, number 34, and then we'll do 36. The orchestra has 5 violins and 3 guitars that need new strings. What is the total number of strings that need to be replaced? So the orchestra has 5 violins and 3 guitars that need new strings. What is the total number of strings that need to be replaced? So let's start with violins. 5 violins times how many strings do they each have? 4, that's what it says, 4. Okay, count by 5 4 times. 5, 10, 15, 20. And then the guitar, 3 guitars. 3 guitars times, guitar has 6 strings. 3 times 6 is 18. So how would we get the total number? We would need to do 20 plus 18. 0 plus 8 is 8, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So 38 strings need replacing. Okay. Remember, if I'm going too fast with writing, you just press pause and then press play whenever you're ready. Okay. Circle the number that makes the multiplication sentence true. 5 times what number equals 45? So what we should do here is start counting by 5s and putting your fingers up, and then stop when you get to 45 and see how many fingers that is. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 9 is the correct answer. All right, good job, 3rd grade. Now do your homework lesson 4.2.